And we're back with some more Dyson Sphere Program. And, well, things have went well so far. Well-ish. I mean, we have burned the enemies from the skies. We have secured ourselves the planets. There is one little hub that's landed here on this planet over here, and I'm letting it stay there. I don't want to destroy this hive completely. I want to farm it. So I think we let that hive build up a bit and start properly farming it. But before we can do that, we're going to need some more research. Right now, we've knocked out all the research but the green and white. And white is basically just a combo of all of them, all of the first 5 researchers with some sugar on top. But basically all we're going to do now is put together some green. That's it, and we'll have most of the science we need. And, well, then we can start making a little bit of a mini Dyson Sphere to start powering our future endeavors. Over here, we're already starting to put together some of these ray receivers. For farming, we're going to start using laser turrets. Don't require ammo, and they're still quite decent damage, it seems. Or that's what I've been advised. We'll find out. These gravity matrix ones, though, are kind of expensive, unfortunately. However, particle containers, we already make them. So we don't need to worry about making those. Titanium crystal, we already make that stuff, so we don't need to care about those. Diamond, already make that too. This stuff, graphene, we've got that already, so that can go. Processors, we got those too. Iron plate, yeah, we got that. So this sort of limits, no, we got that too. We got glass. This means deuterium. Yeah, that's the thing where we run hydrogen through a machine until some of it turns into deuterium. We can mass produce a bunch of that. We're also going to need to make these cashmere crystal things. They require stuff we've mostly got on the bus already, so it's grand. And titanium glass just requires some titanium, some glass, and some water. All of those things very easily achievable. I think the first thing we want to start with, though, is the deuterium. This little mess here is going to be our attempt at making a deuterium production facility. I think this will be more of a prototype, though. The thing is, we've got these new pile sorters that can make things a lot easier. And these pile sorters are going to stack things on top of each other. It'll take them a minute or so to catch up. If we check this here, we can see this is processing 1900, 2000 a minute, 2400, 27, and it's slowly going up and up and up as we stack more and more onto the line. That seems to be working. Oh wow, we're actually draining pretty much the entire line of hydrogen. What's it now? We're almost hit 6,000. Well, I consider that a good call. Oh, yep, hydrogen's finally caught up. Thing is, can we run 2 of these on one line? As in, if we stick another one down here, would it run us out of hydrogen? Probably not. I think we can afford a couple more. This turned out to be pretty handy. And looking at this here, we're putting out 800 deuterium. That's easy. All we needed was about 450, so 800 should be more than sufficient for our needs. Can I attempt it just to put on a third one, or a couple more? Yeah, let's just take care of our deuterium needs for the foreseeable future. That there should fuel our needs for quite some time to come. I had to go and actually queue up some fractionators in our mall. But done. We now should have more than enough of this to keep us going in, well, in this production and a bunch of other productions as well. This building stuff just gets so out of hand every time we try to do anything. For example, I just wanted to build some miniature particle colliders to run some strange matter. But the problem was, well, we couldn't build the miniature particle colliders. To build miniature particle colliders, the first thing we had to do was build these fellas. Frame material. You see, it takes frame material to make the miniature particle colliders. So without the frame material, we couldn't make them. So we decided to build the frame material. And while building the frame material, we realized that we were running low on high purity silicon. There just wasn't enough on the network. So I was like, okay, fine. I went and checked out where our silicon was being produced and discovered that, well, we didn't have enough silicon ore coming in. So the moment you discover you don't have enough silicon ore coming in, well, you tap into all the silicon ore on this planet. Turns out we didn't have a lot on this planet. And our remote outposts on this planet over here, Calbec 2, well, yeah, there was only a couple of those tapped into. So we had to go over there and tap into a bunch more. And of course, while you're there, you sort of double down on the amount of defenses you got going down, replace them with laser cannons, and then next thing you know, it's like, wait, where did the last hour go again? But anyway, so that got us the silicon. So fine, we got the silicon completed. Once that was on the bus, we were good to go for making miniature particle colliders over here. In fact, we've got lots of them now. Also, we chucked on EM rail launchers. Yeah, we'll get around to those, or EM rail ejectors, whatever. The way we're working this bus is stupid, but it kind of works. What you do is you run whatever resources you want. For example, the bottom row here is copper, then you got green motors, then you got your titanium steel stuff, the triple steel, particle containers above that. All of these are just, all the way along. And then when we run out of space to go all the way up to the top, we just introduce a little bus behind it. And it turns out these guys can pass through the belts in front of them, so it works just fine. We can double layer them. So if the resources we need are not on this, or on this, or on the third layer, then we go to the fourth layer. I probably could have done this a lot more conveniently if I had started this way, so next time I'd probably go that route, or come up with a more efficient method. But for now, this is kind of working-ish. Now, where was I building those miniature particle collider thingies? Ah, here we are. So, we've got the miniature particle colliders. We're trying to get them to make this strange matter so that we can make some green science. And now we're running low on iron bars. So iron ingots, yep, we don't have enough of them on the network, it seems. So I have to figure out where the iron ingots are and then expand production. And then hope that we've got enough iron ore coming in to keep up with that. Give me a minute. So, turns out we're a little bit short on the old iron ore. Couple of mines over here should hopefully alleviate that problem quite soon. Where are these going? They should be going over here to our new smelting array. So we stick down 3 more stacks of smelters. That might be why our iron ore is a little bit low at the moment, but that's fine. We could just plug in another mine somewhere. There we go. Strange matter up and running. All we had to do is plop down a bunch of iron mines, build them. I really thought it was going to be an awful lot easier to knock this science out, but that's 2 parts down. What was the next part, I wonder? We've only put in 15 of these. We don't need massive amounts of them. And I probably should be proliferating everything, but I'm not for now. I want to save the proliferation for the secondary expansion, so we could, well, we'll have to redesign everything then anyway. So why redesign and redesign and redesign again? Just one more redesign after this is finished. The next thing up was actually these gravitational lenses, so I'm not even going to move from here. I'm going to plug it into the system. Now, there is one downside. These gravitational lenses require 2 things. One is diamond, and one is the strange matter. The strange matter we can get right out of this thing. However, if you want to have the gravitational lenses go back in, we need to get the diamonds from somewhere else. So since this tower was nearby, I just sort of repurposed it. It's now got a little bit of diamond coming in. That diamond gets shuffled down here. And, yeah, this batch here should be... Where is it? Yep, that goes the green stuff. That gets chucked into there, and now we have gravitational lenses being produced. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. And that is one part of the science done. You see, gravity matrix down here, which is what we're trying to produce, requires 1 gravitational lens and one of those glowy blue quantum chips. Easy peasy. Just as easy as what we've been doing so far. It'll be fine. I'm sure there won't be another string of complications from this one. To make these ephemeral quantum chips, or whatever the hell they're called, we need to make plane filters. The thing is, to make those plane filters, we need to get our hands on Casimir crystals and titanium glass. Okay, Casimir crystals, pretty easy. All we did is we built a tower, chucked in titanium crystal, graphene, and hydrogen. All this stuff was already somewhere on the planet. And boom, Casimir crystals, done. Then what we kind of did is we piped them out the side here and down this direction. Why? Well, we wanted to plug them in with this stuff over here. But first we had to make some titanium glass, which we did. No problems. Titanium glass was actually super easy. It just requires glass, titanium, water. We shipped all 3 of those in, fed the titanium glass back into it. Done. But then to make these plane filters, which are just 1 step away from the processors, to make these plane filters, we needed to combine the Casimir crystals and the titanium glass. And we couldn't just... Well, there's limits to the amount of stuff you can stick in a logistical station, so that's why we've got that weird transport belt coming all the way down here and spaghettifying its way in. It's more mild linguine than a spaghetti, I suppose. And then, boom, we've got ourselves a bunch of plane filters coming out. So that's plane filters done. And there was no sidetracking at all required to get here, and I didn't have to go off and do a bunch of other stuff. This, pretty simple. In fact, we don't need many of these, only about 10, namely because they consume stuff at a pretty prodigious rate, and it takes us an awful lot of plane filters to keep up with this. We have 40 plane filters, and I think it takes... Actually, it'll be 50 plane filters. It takes 40 of them to keep these 10 machines running. So it takes 40 plane filter machines to keep 10 of these machines running, so this is all we're building. Could build more, but I'm not gonna, because that would overload the network. Perfect. There you go. That's flowing. That means we've got all the bits and pieces we need. Oh, like, we can build the science now. All we need to do is go over to a little science section. Let's double check here. Of course, I'm not carrying any matrix labs on me. Fine, give me a second. Our setups of this science build so far have been pretty handy. All you do is you just throw together one of these logistic stations, the smaller ones, grab in the 2 ingredients necessary. Each science only takes 2 ingredients to make. And then you feed the 2 ingredients into the labs, the labs spit it out the other side, and then we dump it into a logistics tower to get transported where we need it. Of course, everything gets spray coated in layer 3 proliferator, including the science itself, and then all of that gets transported over to this and fed into the labs. This is the last coloured science we've got to do. The rest is going to be white, which is made out of a combination of the first 5. You basically pipe the first 5 sciences into a science lab to turn it into white science, along with some photons or something, or I can't remember. Something along those lines. So this is our new setup over here. We're just going to have to summon the 2 ingredients required, and if we just click on this, it tells us it's of course, the gravitational lenses and the quantum chips. And with those done, we just say demand. Yeah, that's going to be a minute, and we've already plugged it into the proliferate. We basically have the proliferator production here, and it just dumps right over here and into these proliferator devices. Then we just got to pipe it out. You give me gravitational lenses, you give me those processor thingies. And yeah, any day now they'll show up. There we go. Perfect. Then, out this side, we're going to pump the science. The thing is, we don't even need to transport it seems. We're just going to have it run back this way by the labs. This might get more complicated when we start getting into white science, but you know what? I will worry about that when the time comes. Ooh, yep. That's green going good. We might want to extend this on and put in more towers. I'm not sure what kind of production numbers we're going to get out of this. Probably should have run more math, but you know what? It's fine. So long as we knock out the science, it's good. And yeah, milestone quantum chips, good. Gravitational matrices, complete. All we have left on that milestone is white science. And off it goes. Perfect. Now all we need to do is start queuing up what we want. The real thing we want to get to is controlled annihilation reactions and artificial suns. Once you've got these combined with a small Dyson sphere, you can usually just expand rapidly. This is sort of like the gatekeeper for, well, mid-game, I want to say. Right now, we're still in the early stages of the game. I know that seems weird to say it that way, but until you unlock, say, artificial stars, you haven't really got the freedom to just expand across the universe. You can finish the game quite handy, as in you could knock out the mission complete thing in your starting system. You don't even have to leave it. But we want to do some big stuff, so I'm thinking, ooh, Dyson Sphere. Yeah, Dyson Sphere stress system. We want to be able to build a decent-sized Dyson Sphere. Yeah, none of that other stuff really appeals to me just yet. The mining is tempting, but I think what we really want is, give me some destroyers. We're going to be expanding at some point, so I'd like to be able to use those. Upgrades-wise, first thing is probably going to be inventory. Yeah, inventory capacity. Nope, requires mech core level 5. Fine, give us mech core level 5. Then, give us inventory capacity. And yeah, the last one can wait. Oh, and universe exploration. View ore reserves and detailed rare ores on all planetary systems. This is going to allow us to pick out where we go next. The rest of this, I'll probably just grab like energy circuits or a bunch of stuff in here. Drone engines. Ooh, drive speed. Yeah, sure, we'll take that. And all queues full. Alright, with that queued up, yeah, science should start up. We won't know for a while how much this is giving us. Once I figure out how much we're getting out of this, I might crank it up a bit. I would prefer to get about 150 or so science per minute. That would just make this that little bit faster. Let me double check to make sure I'm proliferating everything. Yeah, proliferated. And you guys, want to give me some green science so I can be sure? Oh wow, this is slow. And that appears to be proliferated. Perfect, you can see the 3 little arrows on the side of it. I think we're going to need more labs to make this work somehow. Well, while I've been fixing other stuff, we've completely run out of hydrogen. Oopsie. I think I know how to fix that. We're going to go tap into that ice giant that's got loads of hydrogen on it, and I'm pretty sure I built... Yeah, I definitely did. Over here, I want to say, yeah. I built a whole bunch of those. Now, we can fit 40 on a planet, and why is that not building more? Oh, short engines. Yeah, this thing stalled out because I ran out of green motors. I ran out of green motors and had to go top up the entire green motor chain, build a whole bunch more of it. But yeah, no, that's back on track. We're going to grab... actually, we don't need 5. How many more do we need? I think we've already put 8 on top of the planet. You know what? We'll take 40. I think 40 is the max you can fit on a planet. We're going to stick 40 on the ice giant, and that should solve our hydrogen problems for the close future. Build it and they will come. Build 10 orbital collectors. Another achievement knocked out. I kind of want to avoid mods until we've knocked out all the achievements. I haven't got any achievements on this. Last time I played, there was no achievements. Also, metadata-wise, it turns out doing lots of science will get you metadata, and that allows you to skip a whole bunch of steps your next time you play it, because you can just power out research using research you did previously. It just cuts down the grind of the early starting phases, it seems. Give me 1 second to collect all these bots, but these things here are weird. Figuring out the percentages of how much resources these things produce is just mental. There's a whole bunch of math behind it. Or maybe they've just summarized it now. 187 a minute, 77 hydrogen a minute. I might need more hydrogen, even with 40 of these. Nah, I'll be fine. I have vague, sort of Pavlovian memories of doing this an awful lot in my last playthrough. I basically had to tap into every ice giant in, like, the entire solar system, pretty much. Yeah, that was just going around with literally hundreds of these things to every single star system we could find. I wonder if we still have to do that. I'm really hoping Proliferator avoids that pitfall. Science is now, well, ticking over. 160 here. I don't know what's going on. Oh, information metrics is probably not being consumed because this is one of those sciences that doesn't use it. But we are chucking out about 160 science per minute of all of them. That's fairly solid. It'll get us through all of the required tech in no time at all. One thing we do need to get around to, though, is start building a Dyson Sphere. Just a small one. We just want to start a small one so we can start getting in some photons to knock out the rest of the science. They build pretty slowly in the background. So I'm thinking these suckers here, small carrier rockets. We do not have Dyson Sphere components yet, but we have everything but the solar sails on the network, and we don't have Deuterium fuel rods, though we do have all of the pieces necessary to make them, and we already have some quantum chips lying about the place. But we won't need a lot for this. We're just going to run one machine, churning these out. Should be fairly... well, it'll be about 10 a minute. We don't need that many for what we're planning. This little slice of stupidity here is my Deuterium setup. Deuterium? Deuterion? Yeah, Deuterion setup. The 3 ingredients come down the middle, gets sliced up between these 6, and then they spit it out the fuel in the back of the line, which comes all the way around and then through here. And all of it is getting doused with Proliferator Mark III. Which reminds me, we are going to fill up on this stuff. Give me 3, 6, 9. Yeah, that's about right. And we're going to start loading up on that stuff so we get the fuel bonuses out of it. We were using the Mark II stuff, but I think Mark III will just give us that little extra oomph. Now, as you can see, small, sweet, not really big deal. That's sort of the goal going forward. We're going to get a few small things out and then go really big. This is dumb. It's super dumb, but it kind of works. We basically have Proliferate going through here to saturate all the lines, and then we do nice little mini builds, all running off these tiny little planetary logistic stations that we can cram really close together. I mean, I think it works. I haven't actually spun up the last 2 parts of it. I thought we'd turn it on and see how it goes. You and you. So that should give us a little bit of solar sails. And they've got some proliferator on them, so we should produce a little bit more than we need. I've only set this to run 1 machine, which should be 10 a minute, but with proliferate, I assume it will be better than that? We'll find out. Anyway, that solar sails goes up here, turns around 180 degrees and comes right back down, after getting proliferate all put all over it. Then we need these suckers here, which they require frame material and processors. Pretty handy. We'll just go give me some frame material there, give me some processors. These are already on our bus somewhere else, so yeah, done. These guys should also give us 25% extra material. Anyway, that will get stuck out into this line, get proliferated, and then come all the way back around again. In fact, I probably could have turned those proliferators to face the other... You know what? Doesn't make a difference. It's done now. It's finished. We're not going to worry about it. You. Yeah, no point wasting that stuff. Oh, and if you do want to put stuff back on the line, you can just dump it directly. You can just go, yoink, and it'll pop right back out onto the line for you. You just click on one of these belts, it'll show you that location, and then you can drag stuff off of here and dump it onto the belt. That took me a minute or two to figure out. Alright, and last but not least, we need... Oh, yes, quantum chips. I don't think we have a lot of those floating around, and oh my god, what did I do? I know what I did, I copy-pasted that. Instead of putting out a new planetary logistics station, I just wasted all of this stuff. That is, depressing. Give me a minute while I figure out how to dump this back on the grid somehow. Disposing of all of those resources, we got most of them back onto the grid, it's fine. What we're doing now is we have plugged in the processors, those weird quantum chip things. They're coming down here, they're popping into the assembly machine, and they get spit out the other side. We now have a very slow trickle of these. We don't need huge amounts of them for what we want to start with, but they should be ticking over in the background. Let's start tagging them. So, we got about 1.7 a minute. That seems a little low. Let's check that down to the last minute. Yeah, 12. That seems about right. 25% bonus, so it'll probably be about 12.5 a minute. Perfect. Now, time to start launching them and make ourselves a little Dyson Sphere. When it comes to creating a Dyson Sphere, what you really want to do here is add in the different layers. Well, One second, I'm just going to make this a very flat, boring Dyson Sphere, because that's the way I like them, okay? Too close to other shells. What is the shell? Oh, damn it. Delete that one. I'd already started doing some playing around in the background. Delete you. Okay, so we want to add Dyson shell. Flatten it out, and then as we expand it out, yep, there. Too close to a planet orbit. And it's only once. So that means there is one planet inside the orbit if we make the Dyson Sphere maximum size. Which is good and bad. Good in that any planets inside it get 100% uptime. Basically, if you want to get power to the Dyson Sphere and just say it was the size of the sun, the only way you could get it is if you can see it from your planet. There are things you can do to get it 100% uptime, even if you can't see the planet, but we prefer to not have to bother with that. So this way, the inner planet will always be able to see the Dyson Sphere. So we'll just hit create. Then we have to add in nodes. And how boring can we make this? So you go there. And done. Perfect. And then we'll put you down to there. Right. That should be enough to get us started. Is that finished? Do we have to hit any confirm? Painting mode, dismantle all structures? No, I think we're fine. And then if we pop back in again, yeah, it shows the Dyson Sphere we're trying to make. Alright, now we just gotta launch it. Now, where did I put those launchers? They're somewhere down here. Here we are. These guys. Give me 10 of them. I think they can launch one every 5 minutes. Wait, no, 5 a minute? Yeah, so 10 of them should be more than sufficient, even if we have downtime. So, where are we going to launch these from? Probably... Actually, it doesn't really matter. The Dyson swarm's all around us, so they should be able to launch pretty much constantly, as far as I can tell. Could be wrong on that front, though. These launch silos should be pretty boring. It's just a case of... Yeah, you line them up. The only downside to them is you can't drag select them, because they're too close to each other. Oh, damn it, no. Don't want to place you there. I wonder if we take them that way. Oh, you can actually do it that way. Never mind. Turns out, right side, you can't. Maybe there's some way of stretching it that I'm unaware of, but for now... What? Oh, you're kidding me. I'd forgotten about that. You can't actually put belts into them, can you? In that case, quick redo. So here we go. We've got 5 launch silos ready to go, and to feed them all, we've just done a circular belt. It goes around in a circle, that's it. And then we feed these on. That way, they should keep going around and they won't end up dead on an end of a belt somewhere. So, you... will you work? Yay, perfect. And that will slowly launch them. I'm going to put the other 5 on the opposite side. Perfect. Launch, launch, launch. Done. Yeah, launch your first rocket. Yeah, good stuff. Now, going out onto the map view. Actually, we're not even going to be able to see anything for ages. This is going to be a pretty small start. The little ships are heading out now and starting to fill in those nodes. Once those nodes are filled, we can start firing solar cells. Oh yeah, we can do solar cell production as well. Don't wait, they're cheap though. If I recall, solar cells are mostly stone. Yeah, lots of stone and graphene, and we have loads of graphene because of that gas giant. So I'm thinking, yeah. Oh no, we need a few other things. You know what? No, I'm out of time for the day. This game just soaks so much time no matter what you do. You always end up getting sidetracked doing 10 different things before you finally get finished with what you were doing. We've got all the green science. It's pretty much plowing through it right now. Let me check something here. I have queued up everything that requires green science down to about here. We still haven't got that, but there's... At the rate we're going through these, we should be done... Oh, I should have done the vein utilization first. It would have let our minerals last a bit longer. You know what? Doesn't make a difference. We'll be through all of this in about 3-4 hours. We should have all of the greens knocked out, and then we can go on to the white. And for white, you need to get your hands on antimatter. And the way you get your hands on antimatter is, well, harvesting it from sun through, like, grabbing photons from sunlight and then splitting them to make antimatter. Don't ask. Don't ask. It doesn't matter. Just know that we need this Dyson Sphere to do that. And I might actually double production of these after a while. Actually, I think about it. We've got a bunch of extra junk on the line because we've been proliferating everything. I'll probably regret that, and something will run short, and I'll have to bulk up a production line somewhere. But you know what? I've been doing that anyway, so no big whoop. When we come in here, if we click on one of these nodes, we can actually tell how many of the little ships it's going to take to build one of them. So, where is it? Over here. It says planned 310, transporting 6, constructed 41. So my understanding is the transporting is the amount of ships that are currently heading towards it right now to actually slot themselves in. Constructed is how many are already in, and planned is how many are remaining. Yeah, so over here it's like there's 290 planned, 5 transporting, 41 remaining, and something with multiple connectors like this usually takes a lot more. Planned 1900? Ooh. Right. Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. And we're already up to 17 megawatts. Now, the great thing about these is you just keep chucking stuff into space and you end up with more and more power. Weirdly enough, though, you could do multiple layers. Like, once this layer is finished, we could encase the entire sun, then do a layer inside that, and a layer inside that, and a layer inside that, and every layer you would still get full power. Well, last I checked, that doesn't appeal to me. I only want to do one layer because I feel like if you're doing multiple layers, it's just sort of like, it feels cheaty. I want to, like, you know, cut off multiple suns. More fun that way. So the short-term goal would be get enough of these up and running to start harvesting the photons necessary to put together the final science. Then once that's done, we want to put, well, some extra Dyson Sphere up there so we can start churning out some antimatter power cells for our next stage, which would be, zooming out here, orientate us to the north. There is other stuff out here that we would like to colonize. Namely, the closest one I can see is there's an O-type star. O-type stars have awesome luminosity. This one's not perfect. It's got lots of iron, copper, silicon, titanium. Stone's okay, coal is not. And it's got sulfuric acid. So we're missing water and coal for this to be really good. But there is, well, there's water over here and there's coal over here. So I'm thinking we move there and put together our main production facility. This has just been getting us off the ground. So we want to move over here, dump down some antimatter, build ourselves a Dyson Sphere, and then just start churning so that we can go over to this place. The Blue Giant. This one's got massive luminosity, it's huge, and we're going to put together the largest Dyson Sphere we possibly can. Will we be able to utilize all the power? No. Will we try? Yes. We'll use all of that to make science or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I think once we get off this planet, everything's going to want to be proliferated. Like, we're just going to proliferate everything to make things much, much smaller. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.